Hey everybody, Tom here for Tom's Road Trip, and I'm in Monterey, California, and today I'm visiting the Monterey Bay Aquarium. I am wearing my Tom's Road Trippin' hat because usually when I go to aquariums they don't have hats, and the price of gas here has been over $5 per gallon. It's kind of sticker shock for me. I'm not used to paying that much, so I'm trying to conserve my funds. This is going to be a really fun aquarium. I'm excited to be here. This is also one of the only aquariums I think in the world that successfully housed and displayed a great white shark. Other aquariums have tried having great white sharks and they usually die within a few weeks. They had one here for 6 months before it was released. So that's pretty interesting. So right up here, aquarium opens soon. I'm gonna see if we have a map and we'll get started. Part of the aquarium was built in a defunct sardine factory. That's the reason why it has the Portola brand sardines mark. Look at the main entrance right here.
Reading the ID, would you mind spelling our last name?
Alright, so I am inside. Got this cool industrial look here. Alright, so they give you a paper map, lists all the different programs and feeding times. And this is a map of the second floors. So first up, sea otters. See the sea otters swimming around there. 400 newly doomed California sea otters. Only a few of California's sea otters survived the hunting. We're working to understand and protect sea otters. Oh yeah, watch out. Just run around. There's multiple different viewing angles also. There's a southern sea otter. Let's go kelp bass in here.
No, here, I would say. Look, he's coming.
So Garibaldi, the black rockfish. We have black and yellow rockfish.
Tunas happening.
There's a fish that are in here. Alright, so I'm gonna go up the stairs now, get a little higher look.
There's the kelp.
Otters that they got.
One for each loop. So when you see the kelp, well, that's doing this creepy.
It seems to swim around.
That's fine.
Oh.
Get all four in the water, swimming around. Zipping by. I love how they all swim their backs. And you don't see them banging into each other. Catch our longest otter. Toys help keep our otters healthy. And Settler's the darkest otter. Our otters help rescued otters. Right down by the otters, you got restroom locations. The cafes here also. You also have a coffee bar. Sometimes people need coffee in the morning. You got pastries and some sweet stuff here also. And beverages. I'll come back a little bit later for food. We got sandwiches, soups, salads. Then we got comfort foods, plant forward, and on the grill. And we got some bottled stuff, fountain drinks. Like I said, I'll come back later for food. Wow, see this big giant skeleton. Gray whale. So you see replica gray whales. So this is a real skeleton. More information about the kelp that's here. The sea otters. Here's the other cute fish that's in here with the otters. So yeah, this is real kelp. This is not reproduction. There's other fish that's in there with the otters.
Here's the fish. That's upstairs.
Otters swimming around. Alright, so the paper map helps, and then they have the different areas. Also where the aquarium store is. I'll check this out right before leaving. Now you have Ocean Discovery store. Again, I'll show you this later. So we're going up the stairs, or escalator if you prefer. Alright, they also have elevators for people with strollers and wheelchairs. Got Pacific white-sided dolphin. Got these dolphins all along the ceiling. Alright, you're gonna check out the open sea. Alright, this should be awesome. And all along the top. This goes all the way around, and these are real fish. This is not a projection. These fish are Pacific sardines. So if you are a fan of sardines, you buy them in the grocery store. That's what the fish look like. And you have this one lone sardine swimming against everybody. Everybody else is swimming one direction. Got out to sea. Got Pacific mackerel. Kind of like the sardines, all swimming along. It's a cool looking fish also. You got purple striped jelly. Wow.
That's a jellyfish.
That is fantastic.
I know, it's funny.
I've never seen this type of jellyfish before. Wow. Now we got little mini moon jellies. Wow. There's all the cute little ones. And we got the sea nettle. Yeah, these are fantastic. Well, we've got lots of them at this aquarium. Most aquariums that I've been to that have these, they only have like maybe 5 at the maximum. And it's these long tentacle-like things at the ends or underneath side that sting. Tops of them don't sting. I learned that from Finding Nemo. Strange enough that is. Then we got crystal jelly next. Yeah, I've never seen these kind of jellyfish before. Wow. We got sea gooseberry. Okay, I've definitely never seen these before. Well, they hardly even show up on my camera. All right, then we got the really big moon jellies. Yeah, these are really big ones. Yeah, so moon jellies are probably the most well-known of the jellyfish because every aquarium I've ever been to has moon jellies. And this aquarium has some jellies that I've never seen before. That's really cool too. I was like seeing something for the first time. So we got the open sea. Alright, you see the open sea, the big giant tank they got here. Look at that. These are all yellowfin tuna. A whole bunch of them in there. I can see that one ray going by.
Oh, dear.
See all the Pacific sardine down below. All sardines.
There should be a hammerhead shark here.
Yeah, yellowfin tuna. There's a hammerhead shark.
Yeah, they eat each other.
So I'm not sure, but I think this might be the big giant tank where the aquarium kept the hammerhead shark, not the hammerhead, the great white shark for like 6 months. That's cool the way the fish all swim around it. Man, it's gonna be like millions of sardines down there, looks like. There's also Pacific bonito. Sea turtles right there. Wow, so yeah, green sea turtle.
It's a boy.
Hammerhead shark going by again.
It's a boy. It's a boy. It's a boy turtle.
So yeah, this is pretty darn cool right here. There's 3 of the animals we're gonna have in this big tank. This tank we're gonna have yellow tuna, scalloped hammerhead shark, green sea turtle. Also got Pacific sardine. I know the bubbles make it look like it is artificial, but this is actual real. So you got dolphin fish, pelagic stingray, the green sea turtle, Pacific bonito. Oh, there's a turtle. Scalloped hammerhead shark, Pacific sardine, and yellowfin tuna. The stingray going by. There's a tuna. Another one of the rays. Always on the go. Got this school of fish right here. Fish is a dwindling catch. It's a northern anchovy. Sticking together keeps them safe from the predator. So yeah, these fish swim in big clusters, constantly moving. Pelagic red crabs, the classic-free ocean.
Well, hello again, everyone. For those of you just joining us, you're here at the right place and at the right time because
Alright, so we got pelagic red crab.
Crabbies over here.
started for today. So we talk about our birds here. They've got eyes specially designed to
So, see all the crabs?
Look at those crabs. Oh, I guess not.
And they also have grooves to allow tufted puffins to hold multiple fish in their beak at one time. You can see a great photo of that right up.
Where's the North Pacific gyre? This is amazing. All made out of plastic. Leatherback turtle made out of plastic. Yes, these two turtles accidentally eat the plastic bags, think it's a jellyfish. There's albatross made out of plastic. So yeah, all these single-use plastics are the major problem. So yeah, all this single-use plastic. Humpback whale made out of plastic. Next up, we got soaring with seabirds. Got pelican, albatross, cormorant, gull, tern, murre, puffin, and guillemot. So this area over here is interactive. Lots of different information the kids can learn.
Watch where you're going. Watch where you're going.
Who's nesting here? Yeah, the kids can push all the different buttons and turn the levers and learn about the birds. We got resting locations right here, just soaring with the seabirds area. And we got tufted puffin.
Same breeding plumage. Now over here on the rock right behind me, there's one tufted puffin who does not show any breeding plumage. He is still a juvenile. He hatched here in July of 2023. When he was first hatched, we had to call him by the appropriate word for a puffin chick, which is a puffling. Pretty cute, right?
There's the puffin! This guy's making good cereal also. Well, the area outside of the water they could be in. Seabirds, a dangerous diet. See flashy feathers. They spend their lives at sea. Birds dive for dinner. These are cute birds.
They are.
They're right outside. Yeah, right here, the sea pride cannery once stood here. Is that a seal or a sea lion? Wow. Yeah, you'll typically see all the sea critters over here. The harbor seals usually hang out on the rocks there. Not always though, because there's none here right now. Where can you find gray whales? It's a huge canyon just offshore. These waters protect the future. Which birds are on the bay? I was coming back in, I circled around, there's an entrance here right over by soaring with the seabirds, so I'm gonna go back now, past all the plastic information that I showed you. So right over here is where the puffins are, so I'm gonna head this direction next. So into the deep is down the steps. This area right over here is where I entered going up the elevator or escalators. We have a small gift shop right here. So going down the stairs, again there are escalators. Alright, into the deep, exploring our undiscovered ocean. One deep ocean. This is that big tank that we saw up above with all the bubbles. See all of the yellowfin tuna. Ooh. Oh yeah, you see all of the Pacific sardine down below. They're all swimming all together in clusters. Yeah, we saw the shark up above, sea turtle. I believe that's the same huge tank that housed or held the great white shark that they had here. Oh, there's the shark. There we go. We got the midwater. We got that moth stinger. Wow. Never seen these before. We got purple lip jelly. I've never seen these types of jellies before. It's always really cool to go someplace and see something new for the first time. We got common siphon for. Wow. Now that is really something. Next up, to get red spot comb jelly. Ooh. I think I've seen these before. Really cool though. And we got bloody belly comb jelly. Red as a disguise in a deep sea. Wow. Never seen these type of jellies before. And Bizzle comb jelly. There's a lot of reflection. There we go. And you got some video playing so we can learn more about some of the sea critters. Filter strain food from the seawater. This is all microplastic. Got living light. Jelly care leads to new discoveries. This sea slug drifts in open water. Linnet lures attract fish. Got muddy plains. Got pom-pom anemone. Right here, Pacific hagfish. Oh, and there it is, right there. We got red rope coral. Yes, these habitats are very low light. Very giant deep sea isopod. Oh yeah, look at that. Wow. That is impressive. We got Firestar. Predatory tourniquet, droopy sea pin, snakehead elepout, deep sea carnation coral, armored sea cucumber, and mushroom soft coral. Right. Got basket star. That's pretty cool looking. Don't think I've ever seen this before either. Seamounts need our protection. Got feather star, mushroom soft coral, bubblegum coral, deep sea cauliflower coral, shaggy bamboo coral, red sea fan. And these are all real genuine coral. It's not just plastic. It has this octopus garden grow. So yeah, there's lots of information. Learn about different sea critters. Got this really neat projection on the wall. Got hot vents. So that's really neat the way the aquarium is able to show stuff that you wouldn't normally be able to see. Got Whale Falls.
That was a back. That's our largest Japanese.
Got big rowdy, spiny red star, fragile pink sea urchin, seagulfish, Japanese spider crab, elephant fish, Japanese armorhead, short spine thorny head, and long spine thorny head. Wow. You can see a giant right here. Alright, so from into the deep, going back up the stairs now. Alright, so I've just finished the open sea and the undersea part. A lot of the stuff was really dark. So I'm going to be heading back over to the entry area. I'm going to get some lunch and then I'm going to continue. Yeah, look at this. Yeah, you see all the urchins down there. Yeah, the Hoven Cannery once stood here. This is why the aquarium has this industrialized look to it. Alright, so I just had my lunch. They have some interesting drink flavors here, and the cool thing is you keep your receipt, you get free refills till the aquarium closes. Alright, so I got a paper map, but this is a central stationary map. So I saw some of the stuff here upstairs and downstairs. So now I'm going over to the other side, which is this way. So here's the main entrance. So then over here to the ocean's edge next.
And that's going to involve what we call some stadium style of that railing, just so we don't have any surprises down here. And lastly, you are all more than welcome to take as much photo and video.
The kelp forest. The kelp forest. We're about to do the feeding. And this is all real kelp in this area right here. All of the fish. I'll show you information about all the fish as soon as this part's over with.
Well, good afternoon, everybody, and once again, welcome to the Kelp Forest exhibit. For anybody recently arriving, either in person or on our live stream today, My name is Eric. I'm a naturalist here on staff, and in just a moment, we're going to be joined by Andy, one of our volunteer divers, who's going to be feeding the animals that you can see are already assembling for their daily meal. Now, Andy's going to be chatting with us over the microphone here with a full face mask setup, but while he's over on the side getting all of his equipment ready and set to go, I would love to introduce all of you to the exhibit itself. Now, to be honest, everybody, this is actually my favorite exhibit in our entire aquarium for a number of different reasons. I myself am an avid scuba diver, and I love to explore habitats just like this right off our back deck. And in fact, this is an amazing window into that type of ecosystem or habitat that you can find right outside up and down the California coast. It's almost a one-to-one recreation of what you could find if you just took a dive right outside here. And what may look like a big old collection of rocks, algae, and animals is actually a complex, living, breathing community here that we've assembled, very similar to the ones that we all belong to in our everyday lives. Each of these animals here has a specific role or job or function within that underwater society, and all of them are anchored or united by one of my favorite organisms on planet Earth, and that is the giant kelp itself. Now, growing from the bottom of this exhibit all the way to the top here, kelp is what we call a foundational species. It creates and structures the environment around it, both physically and within the food that it can provide for so many of these animals. It provides food and shelter for so many creatures, not only here on exhibit, but also up and down the coast. And you can even see some examples of it on the little screen over there, creating some beautiful scenery that you can find right outside. In fact, some of you may have seen the kelp in action before you even walked through our doors here, and especially before you saw this very exhibit. If any of you took a look right outside on the bay itself, you might have seen some big old brown patches on the surface of the water. Now that is the topmost layer, or the canopy level of the kelp. We have some examples on the screen over on that left-hand side once more. And perhaps you saw sea otters wrapping themselves up in it so they don't drift away, or even diving birds moving through it so they can grab their food. Almost every level of the kelp is useful to some sort of animal here on our bay. So it is essential for life in these waters. Now, many of these sites here are merely possible because our kelp forest and the bay itself is all within what we call a national marine sanctuary. Now, that's basically a protected area that ensures the health and biodiversity, the thriving ecology of these different habitats, and it's almost like an underwater national park for all of us to enjoy. Now, I just want to put another little reminder, folks. We want to make sure that our flash is disabled on our picture-taking devices just for the comfort of these animals and, of course, our divers here. But before Andy heads over here, I also want to drop one more amazing fact about this kelp forest. It's directly connected to our bay through two large intake pipes, and you can actually see them on the screen right over there. They send in about 1,500 gallons of raw seawater into this exhibit every single minute. Now that water is bringing with it things like raw nutrients, plant spores, or even small animals and food that can end up within this space, and some of those animals can grow up to their adult lifestyles. So some invertebrates like sea cucumbers or some of the sea stars that you can find on the rocks, they may have come in straight from the bay. So we like to say this exhibit was built by us, but also by nature as well. He's right behind me, isn't he? Now I know you have all stopped listening to what I've been talking to because Andy has arrived here on the scene. Don't worry, folks, I totally understand. He's making sure everything is all set and ready to go, and we'll be able to chat with him as soon as we hear some very Darth Vader-like breathing over the microphone. But I will point out that he is definitely the most popular critter in the exhibit right now. He's got a big old bucket of food in his hand, and he has quite the entourage of fish surrounding him. Now he also has that full face mask that I was pointing out here. Looks like he's doing some checks with our audiovisual team here. But you'll also notice that he has a little tube going all the way up to the surface. That's where he's getting his air supply. Oh, and there it is right on cue. Hey there, Andy, can you hear us?
Well, hello, Eric. How you doing out there? You got a crowd out there with you. Over back there. And on the second floor, hello up there. Yeah, well, I got a crowd in here, but they're looking for lunch today, so let me start to get some food out here. They are hungry.
Amazing stuff. Now tell us, what is in that big old bucket of tricks of yours?
Well, I've got a number of things that they eat that they would normally eat in the wild. There's some different different sizes of shrimp. There's some cut up squid. There's some clam meat. Here, I'll show you something. I just saw one. We actually make a 1-a-day multivitamin for them. It's right here.
Amazing stuff.
Pretty cool. And they love that. They'll grab it real quick here. And then we got some of our larger fish, like larger food. So this is squid. So our little sharks right here, they'll eat that squid. Not my finger, just a squid.
Amazing stuff. Now let me tell you folks, I get to see this feeding all the time and it never gets old when these leopard sharks leap into action here, especially since they get to use this little window as their dinner plate. Andy, can you tell our friends the amazing facts about these leopard sharks in particular and how they acquire their food?
Well, actually, these leopard sharks, you notice that their mouth is on the bottom? That's because they're mostly a bottom feeder. And they move along the bottom of the ocean on the sand area, and they pick up things that are under the sand. Now, they know they get fed up here, so they do that same motion right on our window right here. So all I have to do is put something up in front of them, and they go, oh, there's my food right there.
It's pretty nice to have a personal DoorDasher, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Now we also have several other animals moving about here. We got several purrs, small little senorita wrasses as well. But kind of to your point about where the mouths of these animals are located here, that is a very important thing that I would love all of our guests to pay attention to throughout the rest of your visit. That can tell us not only what these animals may eat, but also where they may live as well. Like Andy just said, these animals are bottom feeders, so they're hanging out towards the bottom of the seafloor. That's something they share in common with their cousins like rays and skates and even other types of sharks. But we also have some animals that have more kind of forward-facing mouths here. We've got our giant sea bass kind of lurking to your left here, Andy, but you're not going to be feeding her today, right?
No, they fed her earlier today. They did some target feeding with her, and she was really good today. I just talked to the aquarist this morning after they fed her. But she's a beautiful animal, isn't she?
Absolutely. I was telling some folks earlier today, those animals can get to about 80 years in the wild and up to around 500 pounds.
Yeah, and she's only about 150 pounds now.
Yeah, so she is still growing, and in fact, that's something our team is very closely monitoring. She and the other sea bass we have right around the corner, they're all here as part of what we call a longitudinal study, studying how big they can get and how fast. Now that's mainly so we can study their growth and inform future conservation policy around them, because I mentioned these animals grow pretty large and can live pretty long, but they don't have their young until pretty late into their life. I believe into their early teens or even 20s. So that meant that they were very vulnerable to overfishing in the past. Now they were being taken out of the water before they could naturally replenish their numbers, so they are a critically endangered species and federally protected. Our work is going to make sure that they can stay protected so they can boost their numbers back up. But Andy, can you detail to our friends the exact training method that they use with those giant sea bass?
Well, what they're doing in here is because they want to interact with the sea bass to do these certain things to keep them healthy. They do what we call a target feed. In here they put up a round circle, like a piece of wood that's painted green, I believe it is. Oh, this guy says he wants something to eat. I'll get to you in a little bit. So they come up to that circle, and they feed them with that circle. That lets them come to them when they want to. They want to look at them. They want to do different things with them. It's called target feeding.
Yep, we use a nice little system called positive reinforcement with those targets, so they'll reward them with some tasty morsels as soon as they go up to that little target, almost like a visual dinner meal. And it is very useful if we have to do anything like a health checkup or even transport them. So that's something you'll see every day at our aquarium, either in here or even right around the corner and down the hall. But I want to point out we have another big old fish kind of swimming around you. He's kind of in the back recesses here, but I'm hoping he comes on out. We have our big old California sheephead behind you.
Oh, there he is. There he is.
Yeah, there's that fish. He's got that nice kind of dark body, but with that big orange stripe down the middle. We like to call him the world's biggest San Francisco Giants fan for that coloration. But why do you want to be a little more careful with him, Andy?
Well, he's a little bit more of an aggressive eater, I would say. It's a beautiful fish, but has a tendency to grab from the food. So I make sure I pay attention to him there when he comes up. He's not a very good, nice gentleman. He's got kind of grabs for things, so I don't want him to have grab for something and grab my hand at the same time. So, but he's a pretty cool guy. Where'd he go to?
Absolutely. He's hanging out a little more towards your left on that right-hand side. My friends at the circle window probably have a good view of him.
Yeah.
And I will let everybody here know, that kind of grabbing nature with his jaws, that's not just because of his personality, it's actually because of the natural role that he serves in that environment, in that wild kelp forest environment. If you'll look at him right now as he's kind of hanging out on that right-hand side, he's got those big, old, powerful jaws with those nice little conical teeth kind of sticking out. That's because in the wild, those California sheephead love to feast on invertebrates, and mainly hard-shelled invertebrates like crabs, clams, or even sea urchins. And in fact, by feasting upon sea urchins, those animals have a major effect on the health of these kelp forests here. Purple urchins especially are major kelp grazers, and if they grow out of control, they can deforest entire kelp forest communities. So having these California sheephead or other animals like sea otters and sunflower sea stars, they can ensure that great balance here in the kelp forest. So they're what we call a keystone species because of that important job they have in these environments.
Yeah, you know, everything works together when it's all the parts are there, all the pieces of the puzzle there, it comes out as a beautiful picture.
Absolutely. And in fact, I love this exhibit so much because it does represent that type of balance that we can have in these type of habitats, even for our smaller animals hanging out towards the top here. Now, they're not going to be fed by Andy himself. In fact, he actually has a dive buddy on the surface here who's going to be releasing some food for those smaller animals as well, just to make sure that everybody can get their daily bread.
That's true. I got some, Meg is on the top. She's my safety officer. And she will throw in some krill, which is a very small shrimp, that we can throw in on top of these anchovies that are here. Just love to eat that. A lot of them do. But while we're talking about food, I got the seafood watch card in here.
Ooh, looks like we got some prime reading material. It looks like that leopard shark is very interested in it as well.
Well, he wanted to come take a closer look, but then he left. This is the seafood watch card. Can you tell them how this works? And they can use it. It's a beautiful system. They can get it in a paper form, much smaller than this. I got the big form because my eyes got to see real close here. But they can get an app on the phone too for it.
Right. So to kind of break that little guide that Andy has right here, basically to make sure that we are able to have a positive relationship with these environments here, especially when it comes to things like seafood, the aquarium has a program called Seafood Watch. Now that is basically a way that we can work with biologists, fishers, local communities around the world to make sure that we can have seafood in a sustainable manner. And that basically means that we're not taking any of those animals out of the ocean in a way that prevents them from replenishing their numbers, kind of like what we used to do with those giant sea bass, or that is not damaging the surrounding environment. With a lot of those factors, and by talking to all of those different communities and stakeholders, we're able to make sure that we can list these different seafood items depending on the region or even just the type of seafood in a red, yellow, green stoplight system. So it looks like Andy has put away his little guide, but that's perfectly fine because I also have a little blurb up there on the screen there. So any seafood items listed in the green zone are amazing seafood choices, ones that are really good for the environment, like what we're just giving them right now here on exhibit. But anything in the yellow is maybe a better alternative in moderation, and if it's in the red zone, that's something we want to avoid for the sake of the animals or their surrounding environment as well. It's a program that allows us to do all the hard work for you, but allows us to all level up our seafood game and create a truly sustainable world, because these amazing sites, we want to make sure we can coexist in peace, and of course make sure we can get our nice daily seafood. I'm actually going to have some of those little pocket guides right up here after the feeding program. I have some for the West Coast, the full national US for sushi, if we have any sushi fans out there, and of course in Spanish as well.
We got coastal streams.
Animals that are kind of similar to that California sheephead. They have big old crunchy jaws, kind of a snarlier face here as well.
Got a California toad, three-spined stickleback, and California red-legged frog.
Have them join us for the feeding is always a major pleasure, and it really helps highlight how complex these kelp forest communities can be. Every
Looking for the froggies. I found one of the frogs. There's one of them. All the way back. And in that crevice. The other one is just hiding. Yeah, coastal stream. Oh yeah. This is a big fish. And I really like this. Either rainbow trout or steelhead. Got one over here. Got high tide feast. Tide pool tip. Got the rock shore tide pool. Oh man, look at that. A black turban snail, hermit crab, and sea lettuce. Got some starfish in there also. So I actually had hermit crabs when I was a little kid. We lived in an apartment at the time and we couldn't have any cats or dogs. Got wave crash. Wait for the water to splash down. There we go. We got the bat ray touch pool. Why bat rays? Also, we got starry flounder, shiner perch, top smelt. Bat rays don't shock and these won't sting. It's a little fish. So they're gonna go someplace if they don't want to be touched. Well, look at that. Is that the bat ray? Yeah, that's the bat ray. Got sandy shore. Beach life camp out under beach rack. This jelly lives and dies by the wind. Beaches are for birds, dogs, and people love them too. Beach burrowers. Got sand crabs. Wow. And we got Rocky Shore. Got the Rocky Shore touch pool. We got top snail. Decorator crab. California mussel. Hermit crab. Gumbo chiton, I'm not so sure. And giant kelp. All the different critters.
It does move.
And here you got purple sea urchin, red abalone, bull kelp, barnacle, feather bow kelp, Turkish towel, and giant kelp. Urchin, kelp. And we got surf grass, bull kelp, giant kelp, bleachweed, and coralline algae. Looks pretty cool. They got all this different stuff in here. Each little area has something a little bit different. We got coastal wetland to sandy shore. We got rocky shore up close. You see some hermit crab, zebra perch, feather boa kelp, California mussel, Caroline algae, orange cup coral, crevice kelpfish, monkey face crickleback, red abalone, and line chiton, or chiton, I'm not really sure. Wow. Got the kelp. And of course you got lots of little fishies in here too. Make it look nicer. Ooh. Got Rocky Shore tides. And tide pool tip. And then we got surf channel. Got reef surf perch. Purple urchin, bat star, giant green anemone. Got surf grass, red abalone, and orange cup coral. And again, you're going to have some nice fish in there. With the surf perch. Bat stars. The purple sea urchin's really cool looking. We got crashing waves, owl limpet, purple sea urchin, giant green anemone, striped shore crab, bat star, scaled worm snail, yeah, you see the way the waves crash. This mimics the natural environment that these critters would live in. Life-giving waves. Never turn your back on waves. And next up we got the wharf. Got Real Coast Cafe.
Very tasty. This little plate of shellfish sure does hit the spot.
Why? Because most oysters, clams, mussels, and scallops you see on seafood menus today are now farm raised in ways that have less impact on the environment.
That made a great choice.
Shark? Really?
Let me break it down for you. Like us humans, most sharks live a long time, and they don't get down to breeding for many years.
When sharks do have babies, it's usually just a few pups at a time.
Yeah, it's not a bad lifestyle for a top predator. Trouble is, most shark species can't reproduce fast enough to keep up with overfishing.
If that's not bad enough, the world's shark populations are being decimated even further by a brutal practice called shark finning.
Shark fin soup may be a delicacy to some people, but when sharks have their fins cut off and get dumped overboard to die, well, I call that a horror show.
You still have an appetite after that little story? let me recommend you order the U.S. farm sturgeon instead of shark. Same meaty texture, without the tragic aftertaste.
So it gives you all of the different animals that they talk about.
Who wanted the sizzling hot catfish fillet?
Let the good times roll, my friend. You made an excellent choice.
Look at that beauty, huh? Sure, catfish may not have the prettiest mugs, but they become one of the most popular seafood choices in the whole US of A.
Baked, fried, or mwah, A to Z.
Good thing, because we know how to farm these fellas in a way that's much easier on the environment.
Catfish are mostly raised in the south in closed inland ponds that retain the same water over several years. Now, what this does is allow time for waste to break down naturally before entering the surrounding habitat.
That means you don't have waste buildup in the ponds themselves.
And you don't have it spilling out into the wild.
Very eco-friendly.
And because farm catfish die on a vegetarian diet of mostly corn, you don't need to pull any more wild fish out of the ocean and feed them.
Good for you, good for me, good for the oceans. Ha ha! Party on! A swordfish in motion, seeping through the water, leaping into the air. Ha ha! Now that, my friends, is a thing of beauty.
An imported swordfish sitting on a plate? Not so much.
Here in the U.S. waters, we catch swordfish in an ocean-friendly way. Only problem is most of these big boys are imported from places around the world.
And not everyone plays by the same rules.
Nearly all imported swordfish are caught with long lines. And what a tale of woe that is. Miles of lines, threaded with thousands of hooks that don't discriminate between a big old swordfish and anything else that just happens to swim by.
Juvenile swordfish, sharks, sea turtles, seabirds. Long lines will get them all.
Long story short, if you're looking for a seafood dinner without a side of guilt,
Just say no to imported swordfish.
Farm tilapia.
goodbye, my beautiful little tilapia.
Excellent choice. Tilapia is my favorite. So flaky, so tender.
So sustainably delicious.
In the States, most tilapia is farmed in ways that have very little impact on the environment.
Imagine ponds with effective waste treatment, strong management, and a vegetarian diet.
Meaning we're not draining the seas to feed the farms.
And these farms are isolated from wetlands and waterways, so the environment isn't at risk.
Yeah, tilapia is farmed in countries around the world. And many regions have made sustainable progress in their farming practices.
Basically, tilapia is good for the economy, and that's good for the world.
Just be sure to check seafoodwatch.org, the guide, or the app for most up-to-date information.
Alright, well, that was actually pretty interesting. Tells you different information about the different types of fish that you can get at a restaurant.